Hi, I'm Margaret, and today I've brought these lovely little cupcake roses for you. The cake is light and airy, the topping is beautifully creamy, and they're perfect for Valentine's Day. They are red velvet cupcakes with a cream cheese frosting. Oh, delicious. You've got to try these. So, first job, nice soft butter, 100 grams of it. Make it nice and creamy before you add anything else. Always makes a difference with cakes. Once you've got it nice and creamy, add your sugar. There's a few different flavourings to this cake. Vanilla, of course. You'll also be adding some cocoa powder later. And then, of course, there's the red food colouring. It makes a beautiful, vivid red colour, but the colour does soften a little bit once it's cooked. I always think the cocoa powder, as well as giving it a lovely flavour, just softens that red colour just slightly. The flour and eggs need to be added gradually. A bit of flour, then an egg, then a bit more flour and so on, until it's all mixed in. I've also gone back to using a spoon here. I don't want to overwork the flour. The vinegar helps the mixture to rise. I like to add the buttermilk bit by bit. It's much easier to incorporate that way. A good substitute for buttermilk is 170 millilitres of milk with 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. You will need to leave it to stand for a little while. It's a useful tip to remember, especially as if, like me, you start a recipe that needs buttermilk and you realise you haven't got any in the fridge. Which has happened once or twice. It is important to use a bun tray to support the cake cases. This way, the cakes rise upwards instead of outwards, making sure the cake fills the cake case. Now, when you put the mixture into the cake cases, this mixture is a little wet, so you have to find a good way of popping it in without getting the mixture on the sides of the cake cases. The way I do it is by using a measuring spoon. They're a bit deeper than an ordinary spoon and not as likely to spill over the sides. This measuring spoon is 1/8 of a cup and it seems to be just the right amount to fill the cases. You don't need to add too much mixture to each case because they do rise really well. The amount of mixture will make 24 of these cupcakes. I'll put some of the cupcakes on an ordinary flat baking tray and you'll be able to see the difference in how they rise. Pop them into the oven for between 20 and 23 minutes until they're cooked. You can see here the difference between the cakes cooked on the baking tray and in the bun tin. Those on the right have spread out instead of up. Again, cream the butter, make sure it's nice and soft. Mix it well with the cream cheese. Be prepared to use quite a bit of the sieved icing sugar. To make a frosting that's going to be stiff enough to pipe into roses, you will need to use between 700 and 800 grams. Have plenty of red food colouring on hand so that you can get just the colour you want. This is just the right consistency. This is the piping tip I'm using, but something similar will work just as well. This is a disposable piping bag, and all you have to do is snip the end off like that. Pop the little metal tip in and you're ready to fill the bag with cream cheese frosting. The rose really is the easiest pattern to pipe on top of a cupcake. You start in the middle, pipe a little bit into the centre, and then move the piping bag round and round until you come to the edge of the cupcake. A bit in the centre, round until the edge, and when you get to the edge, just try and smooth it off a little bit so it doesn't look too abrupt. These lovely cupcakes keep in the fridge for up to 4 or 5 days. But do let them get back to room temperature before you serve them. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed making and baking with me today. If you have, and you'd like to see more of my recipes, do subscribe and hit the bell. That way, you'll get a notification each Monday when I upload my new videos. Have a great Valentine's Day. I hope it brings you all you wish for. Catch you next week.